What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody, back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video, which, oh my lord, was short. It was less than 4 minutes. We haven't gotten a short daily rap video in quite some time, and you know your boy Doody does appreciate these shorter videos. I mean, when Phil's clocking 13, 14 minutes, you know, regurgitating the same thing he said 1,000 times throughout the day, Doody gets upset and actually has to do some extra work to edit and cut down his videos. So I do appreciate it. Thank you, Phil. If you guys didn't watch any content, of course, the 220 meme is still going strong. That's right. Our boy and his camera filled house is going strong. And yeah, Smark guys happened last night, and it was pretty funny. Apparently, PPP grilled him on some of those new memes that have been making the rounds. So let's see what Phil had to say on the Daily Wrap.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 18th of February, 2025. An interesting streaming day, so let's chat. First off, on today's Level 1 podcast, it was a big story about Marvel Rivals devs getting laid off. And it was a really bizarre story because why are people who worked on the biggest or one of the biggest games in recent memory making tons of money for this company, NetEase, why are they laying off employees? I covered it in full. You'll want to check out the story. I didn't have time to clip it. I would have, but went late on Smark Guys tonight, so no chance for that. But enjoy it if you watch the podcast. The first gameplay segment today was Avowed, which...
All right, well, I'm going to stop it here because, yeah, I caught that segment, Phil. And, of course, you hyped it up and made it seem like you had this blockbuster news story that you had to share that was hot off the presses. I mean, you were literally saying breaking news. You were using a Doody tactic to try to lure your viewers in to watch your content. I mean, you hyped it up. And essentially what the story was a group of contracted individuals that worked on a piece of Marvel Rivals, the game, they got laid off. That was the news story. Now, of course, Phil tried to hype it up and make it seem like, oh my lord, they're shutting down Marvel Rivals. You know, everyone's getting fired and laid off. Oh my God, you see, folks, it doesn't matter whether you make a great game and make a lot of money. These greedy CEOs are going to fire you anyway. That's Phil's tactic. And if you listen to the story, he kind of leaned on that as well. He tried to make it seem and tie it to his belief that all CEOs want to do is milk their employees and then when they're done with them, get rid of them and fire them. Again, after he read the news story thoroughly, which he should have done before he talked about it, he realized, oh, okay, it's really not anything. It's a small segment of employees, contractors, that were contracted to do their part, and they no longer were needed, so they were laid off. And of course, after Phil realized that, he started going, well, it's a shame. They were very successful. They should have been hired as full-time employees. Phil, there's a reason why companies hire or do contract work. Typically, most contract work is 6 months long. And if they need you to stay on longer, they renew you for another 6 months. That's how it works, Phil. And Phil, you get paid extra. Contracted workers typically make on average 30% more than full-time hired employees. And the reason is because they don't get health benefits. They don't get any other normal benefits that employees get. So to incentivize them to sign up as a contractor and say for a 6-month stint, they get paid a lot more, Phil. Okay? So it's not like they're coming in working for fucking slave wages, okay? They're making a pretty decent cash. And I'll give you an example in my real life, Phil. Yeah, you guys know that my family owned a business. I ran it for a bit of a period. I mean, I wouldn't say I ran it. I was kind of more of a figurehead. But we had contracting work. We would hire out factory. We would hire out companies, right? On a contractual basis, right? So we would say, okay, you know, we're manufacturing X, and we need your expertise. So we're going to sign you for a 6-month stint. And after the 6 months, we'll reevaluate to see if we need you, right? And typically, we'd bring them on. They would do the work. And after that, they were let go. And it was pretty normal. It's a normal fucking practice, Phil. And of course, they got paid well. because of course they're taking a risk because they're coming on, not getting insurance, not getting the normal benefits that a full-time employee is, but they're compensated very well. So yeah, Phil made a story out of nothing. He realized that it was nothing, and then of course he went on to his nonsensical rant about greedy CEOs and companies. He even tried to tie Phil Spencer Microsoft into the story. And again, not defending CEOs, I'm just pointing out Phil's stupidity here, where he's so clueless when it comes to real life situations, business. I mean, the man really never held a job. He hasn't had a job in over 16 years. So when he's talking out of his ass, you should point it out and say, you don't know what you're talking about. So let's keep going.
I think everyone had questions about, would Avowed be good? What is Avowed like? In a nutshell, it's pretty good so far. The graphics on PC are great. The gameplay elements are sound. It seems like you can play the game in multiple ways, like magic or melee or a combo, and they're all good. The exploration is good. And so far, the story is pretty good. The main criticism I've heard of this game is that the story falls flat. Early on, I'm having a great time with it, all right? So I played it for around 2.5 hours today. The videos are live already on the channel. I would appreciate it if you could do me the solid. If you're watching them, please like those videos and leave comments on them. If you do like those videos, please, that engagement helps a ton whenever a new playthrough is starting. Please do that for me, okay? Did not hit the goal on the first stream. Right out of the gates, first major RPG that I'm playing in a long time, and we didn't hit the goal. Not even close. We made like 80, 85 bucks or something like that. Am I upset? Absolutely not. But this goes in line with what we've been talking about recently, RPG overload, and people don't come out for RPGs and don't support RPGs. So I'm not exactly sure what I can do to counter that. It happened, okay? Late stream tonight with Smark, guys.
All right. I love how, Phil meant, like, I don't know about you, but when something doesn't bother me, I make sure to make it a point to bring it up many, many times. I'll give you an example. Like, let me see. Let me think. Let's see here. My local city department is thinking about borrowing some money to rehab the aging infrastructure for the water pipes or whatever, the street stuff, and they're looking to borrow a couple $1,000,000. Yeah, whatever, it's infrastructure, you need to do it, and Doody doesn't really care. It's fine, it's reasonable, whatever. So that would be something Doody doesn't really care about. Now, if it was Phil, showing that he doesn't care about it, he'd bring up that fucking subject 100 times every day, every other day, and of course finish it off with, I really don't care, or does it bother me? No. Typical Phil shit. He says that because he doesn't want to be accused of wage quitting the game, complaining about support, which he is. He does. I mean, ever since the interview with Steve, he's cut back on his begging. He's significantly cut back on the begging. Like the first 2 days after the fact, he's very quiet about begging, and even made it a point like, look, guys, it's been 2 hours and I haven't begged or talked about contributions, right? But that's already slipping. I mean, yesterday he already started with let's get some support going, blah blah blah, one sub. His normal shtick of begging for money, and of course, it was done during the unrecorded portion of his stream. It was one of these guys. I think my wife's here. Let me go check. Oh, by the way, give me some money, and then come back literally 10 seconds later and say, oh no, that wasn't her, that was the neighbor. Oh, by the way, guys, let's hit the goal, please. This is a new game. We should hit the tip goal. It's just the normal shit, and just give it a few days and Phil will be back to begging 86 times again during a fucking stream. Nothing new. It's like rinse and repeat with this guy. He never changes. I mean, he never fucking changes. He tries to modify his behavior to fool people, but, it's just like with the whole Moist Critical. Remember when Moist Critical called him out, and he tried to make it a point? He apologized for being such an e-beggar, right? Remember that? And then literally like 2 weeks after that, he went back to being a fucking scumbag e-beggar. Nothing changes, bro. Nothing changes. Give him a few more days, and he'll be back to his Kino level begging on streams. We're already getting there. So Frawny, if you're listening, Frawny, we need you to get on those videos, brother. Pop out those videos showing our boy Phil begging like a crack addict. Anyway, let's keep going.
A lot of people were expecting nonsense. There was no nonsense. It was a good show with a lot of razzing, a lot of Ebegging, for sure. Talk.
Oh, sorry. Oh boy, isn't that true, Phil? Isn't that true? Now, Doody always gets criticized for razzing Phil, right? Doody always gets criticizing for talking shit about Phil and, always pointing out all the negatives. Well, I'm going to point or highlight a positive here. Phil was 220% right here. He was being 100% accurate. He was being 100% honest. Yes, folks, there was a lot of e-begging last night. And again, Phil thinks that Ashton gives him a cushion for begging. Oh, well, I'm not begging. It's me and PPP. We're both begging. So it's okay. No, Phil, you're still e-begging like a crackhead, okay? I mean, Ashton was insulting your viewers, bro. He was insulting them. He was insulting Iron Chef Sakai. He was insulting who else? Who are some other Dark Side Pimp, whatever. Just calling them out and saying, bro, why are you withholding? Like mocking Phil about the whole withholding and so on. So I got to give it to Phil here. He was being 100% here truthful in what he just said right now.
It's all about Monday Night Raw and a few other topics. It was a good one overall. If you like the back and forth between myself and Ashton and the Grill Phil segments and stuff like that, but also the wrestling commentary, you'll like it. If you're only looking for wrestling commentary, you got to skip the entire first hour of the show because the whole first hour was baloney, but it was us having a good time, and then we got into the wrestling. So literally skip hour 1, go right into hour 2, and then you'll like the show, okay? Now, FYI, there's no Smark guys next week because those guys at the Kino Casino are going on vacation. They're not here, so because of that, I will not be doing a show next week, but we're going to come back in 2 weeks, which will be the post-Elimination Chamber show, so there'll be a lot to talk about, okay? Tomorrow, full day of gameplay streaming for me. On the first stream, it will be the Level 1 podcast, recapping a lot of these things in more detail, and we're going to try a new game called Lost Records. It is the new game from Don't Nod. It is episodic, but I'm going to understand episode 1 may even be longer than 3 hours, so we're probably not even going to get through it on that stream and may need more. Maybe like a late stream to wrap it up. So that's going to be the first stream tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, the late stream will be more Avowed. So we'll continue on with the exploration and fun that we've been doing in the game. Let's see how tomorrow goes, because here's why. We did not hit the goal on the first stream, but I did hit it on the second stream. That means we're at 18 of 20. If we hit 2 goals tomorrow, that means we're doing DSP Tries It, McDonald's, Shamrock Shake, plus some food on Thursday. If we don't hit the goals tomorrow at all, it means we're still at 18, and it's going to be much later, all right? I would love to hit the goals tomorrow because then we could do it on Thursday. My wife works Thursday. It would be great. She comes home and we just order food rather than having to cook. That would be absolutely perfect, okay? So if you want to support my streams tomorrow to help that out and make that DSP Tries It happen on a day where it would be helpful for us, please contribute tomorrow, all right? All right? That's it. I'm out of here. Everyone have a good night. See you all in the morning. Have a good one. Peace out. Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and
Wow, Phil, what a tepid little response. I'll just say that. Yeah, man, it's hilarious. Let's hit the goals, folks, so that my big wife can have McDonald's. That's right. That's the motivating factor. Phil is so pathetic, right? He's used every single excuse tactic to extract the money from the Velcro wallet that he is again trying to use his bigly wife for sympathy. Oh, my wife has to work her part-time job. That's 3 days a week. That's right. Oh, woe is Cat. She's in the coal mines, slaving away for master, right? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here, man. You're an insult, bro. You're an insult to people whose spouses actually work, that have real jobs. Teachers, nurses, work 8-10 hour shifts, Phil, and you got your wife over here working a 3-hour shift, and you're trying to convince people, hey guys, my wife is tired, give me $150 so I can buy her McDonald's. Come on, bro, you sound sad, man. Just stop using your wife as an excuse, because you're making her look extremely bad, bro, especially with someone with that size and girth. Like you can't. This reminds me of when you brought her on last year for the Burnell family stream, and you outright said this isn't a pregnancy announcement. She's just, he didn't say this, but he said he essentially alluded to, she's not pregnant, guys. She's just super fat. So don't say she's pregnant, right? Just at every turn, man, you just make your wife look terrible, man. You really do. And you should really stop using her as a crutch. Like, it doesn't work, man, because all it does is just create more memes. I mean, how many times do people say Cat's literally downstairs crying because of you, Phil? Because you tried to use your wife as a shield, right? When you were trying to get Review Tech USA off your back about the May 1st burst, right? You try to lie, say, oh, Cat gets upset every time someone mentions it. She's literally downstairs crying. And you turned her into a fucking meme. Because even if that's true, you make her seem like such a small brain individual. Like, really, you really care that much that someone is making fun of your husband, whacking it 8 years ago or whatever it is, and you're so mentally stunted that you run downstairs and you cry? Phil, stop it, get some help, okay? Anyway, folks, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace out.